Hey guys, thanks for joining us on this special episode, and don't forget to support our Patreon. Just $1 or more will get you early access to all of our content as well as other special features. Enjoy the show! The following is a fan-based video review under fair use. The Wolfman is owned by Universal Pictures, the Lon Chaney, and George Wagner estate. Please support the official release. BigJackFilms annual Halloween special. And on this review, we jump from the 1930s Golden Age to the 1940s Silver Age, with the introduction to Universal's latest monster movie star, Lon Chaney Jr. That's right, the son of the Universal monsters from the 1920s. And following in his father's footsteps, he took on the role of one of the greatest monsters of all time with the werewolf in The Wolfman. Oh wow, this copy is actually sealed. After having spent 18 years in the United States, Larry Tabert, played by the son of the Phantom of the Opera himself, Lon Chaney Jr., returns to his ancestral home in Wales, to his loving family. While staying with his father, played by the Invisible Man himself, Claude Rains, and trying to make amends with him, he meets an array of new people which he seems to like, including a lovely lady named Gwen, played by Evelyn Ankers. As Larry expresses his sorrow over the death of his older brother, and heir to the family estate John, things take a turn for the worst as he is bitten by a werewolf and becomes one himself, causing havoc across the town. Transformed by the full moon, Larry heads for the forest to seek aid from an old lady named Mavala, played by Maria Ouspenská, and of course, Bela Lugosi. His name is Bella in the movie anyway, so fuck it, in order to cure his wolf curse and return to a faithful meeting with his father and loved ones. This is another Universal monster film I was introduced to recently through the following Cineplex Halloween double features, with The Mummy showing first. And to be honest, compared to the first three, this one is a little bit more redundant to watch, but I still consider the Wolfman to be one of the best monsters in Universal's library, and a classic like all the rest. And given this was made a decade after The Mummy in 1941, you can tell that Universal's production values really improved since the 30s. Lon Chaney Jr. now follows in the footsteps of his father and definitely shows the utmost respect for him taking on the Wolfman. It's easy to tell he's learned from the best of both worlds in acting and from his father's side, and the makeup that was applied to him. His performance as Larry is tragic and sympathetic, but as the Beast of the Night, he's a terrifying motherfucker, and the creature design is fantastic. Cheney would play the role many times later in sequels and crossovers with other monsters, bringing the continuity of the entire Universal monster catalog into question. The rest of the characters are great too. I always love Claude Rains in any film he's in, having loved his performance as Prince John in The Adventures of Robin Hood starring Errol Flynn. And in this film, he plays a bitter old man, reminding me of Denethor in Return of the King. However, in my eyes, I'd like to think he's the Invisible Man in disguise.
Now, Larry, will you stop worrying and let me handle this?
Oh, but they're treating me like I was crazy.
You're crazy to know who I am, aren't you?
The rest have their moments to shine, like Evelyn Ankers as Gwen, but not as much as Cheney. However, the best side character are Bela Lugosi and Maria Ouspenská, whom the actors give some amazing lines in the film.
I'm going now, and heaven help you.
Once again, the cinematography is outstanding and actually better this time around with all the foggy sets and environments, reminding me in some shots like The Exorcist among others. Plus, by the time the 40s came around, Universal gave its new monsters a much needed original score and theme. In fact, the tone and music actually inspired one Tim Burton to create the tone and look for his iconic Batman films, the same being for composer Danny Elfman, and it's hard not to see that in comparison. Was a smash hit in 1941 and actually brought new life to the Universal monster movies, including re-releases of all the iconic classics of the 30s, which eventually led to the Wolfman joining the lineup of sequels all throughout the 40s, featuring crossovers with the Frankenstein monster and Dracula, among others. In comparison to the likes of Marvel nowadays, if Dracula is Iron Man and the Frankenstein monster is the Hulk, the Wolfman is more so Captain America. Complex, but fun to watch as a whole. Overall, The Wolfman, while a little bit of a pass for me, is a decent chiller and a fun monster movie. It's not as impactful for me as Dracula or Frankenstein, but it's still a decent watch and actually inspired others like Rick Baker, including creating the Academy Award-winning effects in the 1980s classic An American Werewolf in London, and doing the 2010 remake of The Wolfman starring Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins. So there is some definite good to come out of it, because no Wolfman equals no Kong 76 in my books, as well as no Tim Burton Batman movies. But it all makes up for it with a great actor to helm, amazing sets and music, as well as some impressive werewolf effects. So I'm gonna give it a good 7.4 out of 10. It's a decent sit, and worth a fetch once in a while. So that was my review of The Wolfman, a howling good time at the movies. And again, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on The Wolfman and the Universal Studios monsters in general? Let me know in the comment section below. But we have one more week in October to take a look at one last monster. So join us next time when we take a look at the 1950s classic shot in 3D.